Hello everyone, happy holidays, welcome to another video on the JayBee Milly channel. I am JayBee, and today I'm going to be doing a quick video. This isn't going to be too elaborate in terms of editing and stuff. What we're going to be discussing is pretty much what we have here. So if you're just looking for this picture, which I'm not sure why because it's kind of been circling everywhere at the moment, but if this is the only way that you're seeing this, then I hope that you've enjoyed it. But regardless, today we're going to be breaking down to some of the things that we can almost theorize and speculate about this photo. So here we have this image directly from Bill Haller in terms of he posted it up on his Twitter. Now it was actually posted somewhere else before, but I do appreciate that a lot of the content creators, in fact I think all of them, waited until it was posted onto a public site like Twitter, where it's fair game to, or not really repost, I'm not really about that, but it's almost fair game to speculate about it at this point. So here we have a new image for Scoob Holiday Haunt. So for all this is a bit of a stretch, I am going to remind people of the IMDb synopsis that was confirmed by Michael Krinsky in our interview, and you know, it's public on IMDb, so you can leave that. I'll put a link in it in the description down below if you want to check that out for yourself. But it says, to celebrate Scooby-Doo's first Christmas, 10-year-old Shaggy and the gang take him to a holiday-themed resort owned by Fred's Uncle Ned. The kids are forced to solve a 40-year-old mystery to save the resort from a ghostly haunting. So there's some things that we can theorize here. So of course we do have the Scooby Gang, kind of central, like the centerpiece, the main focus of the image, of course. So there's not really a lot to speculate about that, to be honest. You have Ian Armitage as Shaggy, McKenna Grace as Daphne, Ariana Greenblatt as Velma, and Piers Gagnon as Fred, and of course Frank Welker as Scooby. That's what we know from this image. So that's that. There's not anything to speculate on that apart from that's the Scooby Gang, that's the cast we've got. That's amazing. But if you look in the back, it's like a ski lodge. Now clearly this is, you know, the holiday themed resort owned by Fred's Uncle Ned. Now who is Ned? I think we can almost speculate that it might be the man, almost, he looks central to that group, you know, the guy in the green cardigan, I think. But I don't know. It's difficult to say with this one because for all they seem to be blonde, if you zoomed in, they're quite blonde from, like, just to look at them. But they're almost like evoking Shaggy's colours, which is interesting. It's not just a different shade or anything. Like, if you look at Shaggy's pants, that guy's pants are more or less that shade, and his cardigan is Shaggy green. Same with the woman to the right hand side of him. It's Shaggy, it's almost like the reverse of that. So it's Shaggy green pants and Shaggy, you know, kind of brown cardigan. Now obviously they are iconic Christmas colours, the kind of green and red vibe, but I just find it interesting that supposedly Fred's relatives are sporting Shaggy colours. It could be that the parents of all the gang get involved at some point and this is one from each of those groups coming in. I mean, it wouldn't not make sense, although the one next to the left-hand side of what we theorise as Uncle Ned kind of seems a bit on the younger side, but it's interesting. But for the time being, I suppose we can say that that is indeed Uncle Ned, although dressed a bit like Shaggy. And to the right, I think that that's going to be whoever Ming-Na Wen was voicing, and probably, you know, whoever Uncle Ned's married to, Auntie Fred, I think. And again, this is all speculation. This is just what I can get from this image. Now, to the left-hand side of this, maybe one's related to Velma? Not too sure. We know that, you know, that Velma has kind of got, I don't know if the correct word is Latina heritage, so that could be that. But also we know that there's some like interesting people within that voice cast. You know, there's an all-star cast really that they had lined up for Holiday Haunt that I'd love to see someday. And so one of those characters could be Andre Browner, or we know that JB Smoove was going to be in the movie, so it could have been one of them, you know. We don't know. That's just speculation at this point. But what is interesting is the Holiday Hamlet Admit 1. So it seems that at some point there was a school play, possibly. Like, some of these things like to revolve around the central theme of a school play. So maybe Holiday Hamlet was play going in the resort. Maybe the haunting is in a local theatre there, like a performance zone. I don't know. But what is interesting here is the actual numbers along the side. They all seem to be the same, and that's 011285. So the 1st of the 12th, 1985. Now, I don't know if that's when this is actually meant to be set. This could be set in 85, which is interesting because if you imagine the Scoob crew in Scoob 1 were using, modern technology. They had recent music. They had, I guess, the technology that we do, of course. There was a bit of the cartoony, there's a bit cartoony. Like, obviously, we don't have, like, a Falcon Force, like, jet here. But you know what I mean? It seems very contemporary, 2020, I guess, then. And so maybe for them to be 10 years old in 85, I don't know if that's absolutely ridiculous. But clearly that's going to be a date. Maybe it's an iconic Scooby date. I actually don't know. But clearly the 1st of December 1985 is of some significance. Maybe we'll have to do some further research into that. But there's definitely an interesting date there. Maybe it's the date of a Scooby premiere. I mean, if someone knows, please let us know in the comment section down below, because that'd be really interesting. But again, Feliz Navidad. Of course, I think that's in reference to Velma, They're her kind of heritage, but we don't know. But yeah, that's kind of all we can get from this image right now. Of course, there's a van in the background. You can be sure that that's the future Mystery Machine, the gang. Not really ready to drive it yet, but it'd be funny just to see, like, Fred going, that's an interesting van. Like, you could just imagine the kind of seeds of Fred's love for the Mystery Machine being planted in this movie. It is amazing, and I do thank Michael Korinsky, Bill Haller, and whoever worked on this movie for making such an important, and I don't know, it just sounded like from all that we were hearing from the interviews, from the press, that this movie was going to be the Christmas movie this year. And it is just such a shame that it was shelved, and honestly, I do wish that we could save Scoob Holiday Haunt. We do have a petition out that's had a lot of traction, and I'm hoping that this image can revitalize that progression a little bit. So if you do want to help contribute to saving Scoob Holiday Haunt, please make sure to head over to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere that will allow you to hashtag and use hashtag Save Scoob Holiday Haunt. I'll also leave a link to the petition in the description down below. If you do sign that, if you've signed that already, please do comment down below, just that you sign the petition, and, we will interact with that comment, and we do appreciate it all, because I want to see this movie, and I'm sure that if you're watching this, you've watched me ramble about this image for like 8 minutes now, so if you want to listen to me ramble about this one image of Scoob Holiday Haunt for 8 minutes, then I think it's, if I can make an assumption that you want to see Holiday Haunt, so please, there's no reason not to sign the petition. It's completely free, and it would just mean the world, I guess, to me, the world to the creators. And if we do eventually see Scoob Holiday Haunt, you can say that you were a part of, what really pushed that over the line. So it's going to be an amazing thing to come through, and hopefully we can get that Christmas miracle so that by this time next year, we could all be talking about Holiday Haunt. So that is just absolutely amazing. Again, shout out to Michael Korinsky, shout out to Bill Haller, amazing people. If you do want to hear more about Scoob Holiday Haunt, who better to talk to than the directors? So I'll leave a link to our interview with both of those people in the description down below. They're both amazing interviews. The Michael Korinsky one was recorded before the cancellation, so you can really hear the excitement, and there's no, like, you know what I mean, like, there's no bias. It's just he's talking about something that he's passionate about and that he's worked, so many hours, put so many hours into, that it's a timepiece, really, a bit of a sad timepiece. But if you want to hear someone talk about how good Holiday Haunt was, look no further than our Michael Korinsky interview. And then, of course, Bill Haller was recorded after the cancellation, so it's a bit more somber. But ultimately, we actually do ask some important questions about Holiday Haunt in that interview. And I think Bill is optimistic that the movie is going to come out, as are we. So definitely that's worth checking out. And some, surprises, some teasers on what we can expect from this movie as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and remember to like, comment and subscribe to JayBee Milly.